Ini kata nggak nih?
Nggak usah. Naik itu cuma buat balas chat. Iya ada yang chat kata gue.
Enggak, masuk nggak sekarang?
Coba aja buka pakai handphone lu YouTube channel lu. Aduh, nyala nggak live-nya?
A golden blade.
Allah, lagi naik mobil gitu. Bawa mobil nggak ngeliat depan.
Goes jungle, then he pops out as the push comes in, and this is where Rise will punish Yono. And this is, as you said, because he was getting so much experience out of the jungle, be a very big kill. Level 6 Axe ends up going down.
158 gold each. Pretty decent chunk for this early on in the game, and probably more importantly, the tower as well, so, or equally important. They'll get that early objective. Ace getting the last hit and all, that's his phase boots. He's level 6 now as well. Laning stage go.
Tes. Masuk tuh. Tes.
Dropped as well. This is apparently how you...
Yep.
2 tier 1...
We saw this last time too with C9, because we were talking like, oh yeah, Lone Druid will farm a bit more, take longer to come online, and then Ace is like, no, I'm just going with my team. 5-man at 6-7 minutes in the game, not worry too much about it. And very early towers taken. Great team fight. They knew Loda might TP in to defend that one, but they had the rock ready, and also they had the Lone Druid there, so they had 2 disables to go through his raids. They entangled him up. CM even got away, and if not for Loda using the Infest to just nuke down the CM, that would have been 0 kills for Alliance, but by using the Infest, he also sentenced himself to death, so very good objective taking from Cloud9 in mid lane. They'll probably play a little bit more defensively now while the Rock's on cooldown. They've split up across multiple lanes, although I say that they've also got 4 heroes up top. It's just Ace really off by himself at bottom lane, trying to finish this tier 2 tower, knowing how low it is.
Yeah, Hester Joe actually popped his Shikuchi and ran backwards just to hide from the incoming creep wave, trying to disguise their push. That being said, there is at least one ward that will spot some rotations. It looks like Yonospan does see Noya, does manage to get the call with Loda and Hanskin nearby. They should be able to burst him down. The Weaver may be able to get some vengeance though. He does have a good swarm on out. Rise is going to also be a target. Yonospan with the extra Culling Blade movement speed very necessary. Looks like he may get himself out. Shikuti's damage is going to be a little bit more. Loda's trying to help him out by eat that bug. There goes the armor, but it's still going to be enough. Baby Knight helps collect it through the Fatal Bond. So Alliance actually get 1 for 1, but they lose their option here for that support. As Joe running around still has his time lapse up, and his Shikuchi
under attack.
to be well far enough.
Easy escape for him, no follow-up dust or sentries, and they're going to get top tier on tower. I like that Ace, very selfless from Ace. He had the bottom lane free to himself, could have taken the tier 2 tower. He just left the creep wave there, hitting it to TP top for that fight. He knows that his team aren't quite as strong without that Warlock Rock, so he needs to be there. And the end result is very favorable for C9. They have a close to even trade in terms of kills, slightly favored for them, but more importantly, they turn the kill into an objective. The tier 1 tower now gone, every single tier 1 tower has been claimed, and C9 have fully taken over this Alliance side of the map.
And C9, when they were responding to this kind of pressure, right, they waited out until they had the Blink Dagger.
Dire's top tower.
They waited out until they had the Blink Dagger on the Axe to be able to finally turn and protect their mid-tier 1 tower.
Yeah.
Here, Yonasampon's timings have been delayed enough, in a large part because of Ryze's influences, the Crystal Maiden, that he still does not have a Blink Dagger while a tier 2 is being challenged at top lane.
That is. It's also just how early this pressure comes in. Like, you don't expect Axe to have a 9-minute blink dagger. The Axe's blink timing actually looks like not too shabby, all things considered. Like, okay, he was Iron Talon jungling and like not being contested too much, but once you start losing tower, you lose some farm. You expect Axe to have like a 12-minute blink at that's a reasonable timing, and he's going to have a 12-minute blink. But C9 have taken 4, basically 5 out of towers with how low the bottom one is in sub 10 minutes. That's an insane pace that they're playing at right now.
It does mean Alliance, when they get that Blink Dagger, if they can actually get some good good team fights, a huge amount of gold will just flow into their coffers, because they've 7,500 gold lead right now for seeing one team fight could probably cut that in half. If
Waste.
They get the right kind of initiation. Ace is not going to be caught out just yet.
He's got no TP out. He needs to either tuck himself in the trees or find some way to retreat through the lane undetected, which it looks like through his positioning he will be okay.
Oda, Midas, lifesteal that we saw in the games versus Amas. They are going to go for that Infest gank now with the Blink Dagger up on Yonasampon. It is so crucial that this initiation goes well for them.
They've got to catch Baby Knight, I feel.
Yeah. They've got to stop this chaotic offering from being dropped. But I'll run into other heroes first.
Ace is in melee form, just giving himself extra survivability. Ryze very well positioned in the trees. Baby Knight, though, is a bit vulnerable here. Does have the point booster for some survivability.
Oh yeah, managed to get a silence off on EGM. He's the first one to pop it, goes straight to his shrine. They do manage to catch Baby Knight, and they actually kill him before. Culling Blade gets dropped, and there is going to be no chaotic offering in this engagement. Alliance now still have the opportunity to push out here. Hanskin threatening Ace as best he can. They're doing some damage dealers, so they can at least finish off that Spirit Bear and catch Hester Joe. Nice play by Yonasampon. Still managed to get the stun onto him with the Assassinate, but they lack counter position after the Assassinate has faded. Yeah, they did get Baby Knight. Not the huge win we were hoping for Alliance, but that was about a
Radiant's bottom
1200
tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's as good as it's going to get. Before you, I mean, it's like you take that if you're Alliance. Like, you need to get something. You need to make sure you win that fight. Problem is C9 already back, pressing the lanes. Low Druids coming down mid, and that is not where you want to be. GM.
C9. Literally charging at the lane. They die. They're like, all right, we just wait for Baby Knight to come back. And, whoa, straight down mid, straight to tier 2. I mean, that fast kind of play clearly catches Alliance off guard. Gets them. They're also out of position.
That's it. More than anything, it's Alliance. They're not set up to go for that smoke play again. Like, ideally, like they don't have long cooldowns they're playing around, but it's the positioning. Like, they see Loda at bottom. They know that he is currently not infested in an axe. The one thing they're scared of is when Loda and Jonas are missing from the map, potentially smoked up and blinking on the Warlock, as we just saw in that bottom fight. That's the one thing that can win Alliance a fight. It's like the only win condition for a team fight they have.
Radiant's top tower is
And
under attack.
as long as you see like one of those heroes on the map, you know you can safely push. You get the last side of tower. Now you start taking shrines. Now you set yourself up to take Roshan. And if you look at that being the way you lose a fight in your Cloud9, you could theoretically even get Baby Knight the Aegis just to protect him from that jump.
Swarm will push Alliance.
Lays waste.
C9 probably going to start setting up for a push in bottom and like that other shrine. But Zafon with the haste ring is going to run into Noya. Maybe they could quickly burst him down. Magic Missile is just not enough. Assassinate's coming out. That'll bring Noya a little bit lower. Jonas Zafon may be able to jump back in and get that Culling Blade, but Pastor Joe is charging in deep, and he's trying to cancel that Blink Dagger. Loda actually receives the Savage Roar, stopping his TP, so now he's the next one in trouble. And I don't think Alliance have the turnaround potential. He turns, fights, tries to go kill the Spirit Bear, but Jonas Zafon and Limp are going to leave him to die.
Problematic. C9 probably too early in the game to really turn that into objectives with the low respawn times, while the Shrine perhaps a pseudo objective. Jonas is still positioned at the bottom. He's going for this. That's a lot of creeps. Savage Roar on cooldown.
Chaotic Offering is also going to be dropped there to help save him. And A to get the Entangle to stop the TP. Jonas Zafon high risk play, had some high reward opportunities to it, but
yeah, I don't mind him going for that play. You're in a pretty desperate position as it was, and I think without that rock, it would have been very close to a kill because the Savage Roar was on cooldown on the Spirit Bear. So without that available, it was a bit of a dicey situation for Ace, but heads up play by Baby Knight, just dropping the rock. Your lone druid going down is a pretty big deal at this stage, since it will just slow down the tempo you're playing at, will delay the Roche, delay a couple of item timings, delay potentially even looking to break the high ground, so now you've just got to sit back, wait for that rock to come up. You can theoretically, yeah, even take Roche without the rock because of Alliance being so much on the back foot, and you've got the Swarm as well, Spirit Bear to take it with.
No, even the Warlock Golem is going to be a pickup for Alliance. It actually just dies naturally at 100 HP.
Gives all the vision Cloud9 need to know they're not being contested with Roche. They even scan the shrine to make sure there's no shrine there, but they scan anyways to make sure nothing's going on. And Alliance is like, oh, I wonder if they're Roche. Let's scan on top of it until they leave the pit. Scan tells them nothing.
13-4, C9 already one game up in this series, and they're 10,000 gold ahead in game 2. Get even though.
Here is the Hail Mary from Alliance. They smoke up into the Aegis. They know there's no rock, and I think having no rock is more important than there being an Aegis on the other team, so it's the right time to go for this kind of a play. You can find a core pick-off. Even a Weaver saying would be nice. Weaver's going straight into the Ag Scepter as a core hero, and I think with good reason.
Ace does manage to get off the melee form. That's going to make him so much tankier. The kick actually misses out. They are still pursuing this one. At the same time, Alliance win on top lane. Got Hesky Joe. Noya's going to be turned around here. Ace is going to be losing his Aegis here. Ponskin has his weight. Is barely doing enough. Now the Savage Roar. Range form. They don't have a whole lot of stuns. EGM's out of mana, but Baby Limp can still do it. Gets enough right clicks in. Needs a little bit more for the Assassinate to finish him off, and Ace not going to go down. He manages to get away.
Some bold play pays off for Alliance. The smoke gang was actually up top. They caught the Weaver, farming the lane up top with the Axe Lifestealer duo, and then that fight around mid lane. There was no Weaver. There was Warlock Rock still on cooldown, so very well played by Alliance, just striking when Cloud9 is slightly weaker. Despite there being an Aegis, that also stops there being an Aegis when the rock is back up, so you're less afraid of having to defend your high ground now.
Yeah, you know, I was watching top. I was like, all right, the Smoke Gang's heading up towards that Weaver, and all of a sudden I see Vengeful Spirits over here on the map. I'm like, what? He swapped him. I can't believe Alliance made that kind of play, fighting as 3 into that Aegis, but it worked out. Jonas Zafon's going to be chased down here. He's got the Swarm on him. He doesn't have any way to pick out. Looks like it could be his death. Ogre and Venge, they're just a little bit too far away.
Time lapse even just get rid of some of that spin damage to make sure they can keep potentially applying pressure here. Ace goes. This Mjolnir no goes for the Hurricane Pike first, so wants to be able to positioning item. And C9 with Aghanim's Warlock likely going to be eyeing off a team fight of some sort. The easiest to force that fight on a high ground push now without an Aegis. The Lone Druid can try and sit back with his range advantages to hit the buildings. But I think for Cloud9 they'll actually slow this down a little bit and only take fights outside of the Alliance base. At least until they get like another core item or two.
Funny, we talked about the Lone Druid and Weaver and how they would need time. Cloud9 just don't play that way in the beginning. They use the Lone Druid to take all these outer towers, and now if they want, they can sit back and farm for days.
Yeah, they got double Midas on supports. Like both CM and Earth Spirit will scale pretty nicely, and more importantly, get all their key levels. So by the time they go for that high ground ending push, these heroes will at least have like all their basic spells maxed out. CM can benefit a lot from having like the max out Nova as well as the Frostbite, and get a couple luxury items on these supports. Warlock eyeing off a Refresher now as well, so there's really no rush for Cloud9 because of the strategic advantage they're in, and I mean the double minuses, the farm advantage is going to get bigger and bigger as well.
Shut up to fight. I'm definitely feeling Refresher's a little bit better for me.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, whatever.
But I don't think whatever item he gets at this point doesn't matter. You know, I feel like he could, I don't know, get a Desolator and be fine. But they're in a very dominant position. But yeah, the Refresher to me seemed like the reliable way to end the game.
So maybe he'll have a quick reaction, stopping Yosef on his Link initiation. He is trying to work on a Blade Veil right now. They're backing up Limp as he tries to go for his push at bottom lane, but a Radiant scan. C9 to have an idea of what Alliance we're up to. Scan it. Limp trying to team fight.
They're gonna bait this with the Rock. Yeah, I think they will with the Rock there. If Hesjo gets gone on, you can easily turn it around. Bring an Infest, Lifestealer, and the Axe engaging into a Rock would be a disaster. But Alliance also figure out what's going on with their scan, so they will safely scurry away.
Alliance make the read as well. They back up. Farming time both sides, but it's always be a bit more efficient for C9 with Ace on the other side of the map.
Yeah, C9 are farming more of the map. They're farming with Midas's, but Holograph has somewhat plateaued out, at least over the last 5 or 6 minutes, with Alliance able to put together a little bit, get a couple towers here or there. Still feels like their way back into this game is very limited. The Lifestealer is not really scaling very well, and he's never going to match up well against the Chaotic Offering or the Lone Druid, so it's going to be and even the Weaver, it's going to be very tough. And that initiation of alliances with the infested Lifestealer will get taken away with an Axe Weaver.
Oda, get here fast! We need your damage!
It's unfortunate. Oh, he walks back in.
Alright, Yoda don't try and chase. He's gonna get hit by a boulder. Eyes out the broadsword for his. At least he won't lose gold.
Our hero dies.
Yeah, when this Weaver gets an Axe, which is coming sooner and sooner, that Blink Call with Infest Bomb is suddenly gonna not work so well. Unless it's on the Weaver himself, but often they want to go on the Warlock. Like that fight at bottom where they kill Warlock, that doesn't happen anymore with the Axe Weaver.
Yeah, that really is the triple threat, right? Ace is squishy and deals all this damage, but you can't jump in because there's the Axe Weaver. Go on the Axe Weaver. There's the Warlock Chaotic Offering that's going to be dropped on you instead. Hey, this is a great last pick. Switches things up quite a bit for C9 and for that whole bomb situation. Now we're going to get in action here. Good start for Alliance, managing to bring down that Spirit Bear. So you can't deal with Ace, the true sniper of the group.
Yeah, the Bear melted. They traded Bear for some decent damage in a tier 3 tower, but boy is that Bear squishy with the minus armor from the Howl and the sniper hitting it. Painful thing is, with him, even with the Mjolnir on it, like the range of the sniper is such that he's not even getting hit by it, it looked like.
Dota finished up his Desolator. It's close. Actually,
He's
big upgraded damage. They need this kind of burst. They need to just be able to pop someone before Cloud9 can even react.
Yep.
As to Joe before he picked the bag himself. But as I say that, he backs away from it.
The flood has already come.
Yeah, so see what Alliance can do with the Desolator, whether they try and get aggressive or if they're going to perhaps worry more about the next Roche. I think testing that would be ideal, but also vision-wise they don't have much spotted around that part of the map. It does feel like Alliance is happy to kind of split the map a bit, have a couple heroes farming and pushing top, same at bottom, and they're just trying to use what wards they have down in this bottom side of the map to not get caught out.
You gotta
Radiant's
find
top
some
tower
way
is
to
under attack.
a 9 to set up. Because ultimately, I think if they split up and they farm and everything, that's all good for Alliance. They do need some recovery time. I think ultimately what they're going to need here is a pick-off to really buy them some.
Yeah, the cores seem to be keeping up like decently well. Like the difference is being maintained, but it hasn't increased. But the supports, the minuses, they're kicking in slowly, and yeah, the split push from Alliance is getting them some. Oh, I mean it's more like a split farm than anything. It's getting them farm, but it's not creating that opening back into this game. So
They went that pick-off, they're gonna have to do it so soon. Roshan's up, and
that's a
that
fast
probably
one.
means C9. As soon as they spot that, they're gonna move up.
And Rise scouts them immediately, so that's a useful position for him to be in. He's got the wards to
Radiant's top
try and
tower
set up
is
around the
under
pit as
attack.
well. I'm sure there's no dire ward on the cliff, and Minoya are ready to set up for this one. If they see a couple heroes at bottom, I imagine we'll see and just go straight into that Roche. Probably won't be too afraid. They've even got the Spirit Bear out scouting. Speaking of which, he's trying to steal bounty runes with it, and he'll get it.
Got it.
Hey,
It'll die.
okay, that's not worth 300 gold to the enemy team for bounty runes. Thank you.
Oh, they go straight into the pit anyway, it seems, with a double damage on.
Radiant's top
Well,
tower
he doesn't
is
have a
under
Spirit Bear.
attack.
This is
Yeah.
actually kind of risky for C9. They're trying to push out, see if they can catch EGM. They will manage to slow him down, hold him in place. Now, they are going to be comboed up here, sandwiched between Limp on one side and Loda on the other. Noya does manage to roll his way
Ace
to the
wants
other
Roche. He doesn't
side.
want to help.
Ace is brought Roshan down to half health.
Is winning the 1v1 against Roche. Roche is, I don't know what happened.
Roshan
Nerf,
has fallen
buff
into
after
the
buff,
ring.
Roche still seems easier and easier to kill every patch.
Especially right now when running so much minus on physical damage.
Yeah. Well, now Alliance's high ground defense will likely be tested. Warlock's Scythe of Ice will be completed. Another Midas, a couple of creeps. And item-wise, what else are they waiting for? The Skadi for Ace is almost there as well. He's just like 1,000 gold short of that, so likely wait for these next couple big items to complete, and then the word will probably be, let's go. Let's end this game. They've got the Axe on Weaver, and they'll potentially find a pickoff now. Jonas, Blink from the Urn.
Urn. Hi, Jonas upon. And that's Joe even gives Noya that
Is
full
under
heal.
attack.
Get them back up. And push stuff back out. Crew's at the secret shop, so that's going to be Baby Knight. Don't think he needs to save for buyback at this point. There's not really any point. If you're pushing and you die, you buy back. It's not like you're TPing in or anything, so. Lone Druid very close to his Skadi.
Oh, smoke is popped. Alliance, get bugged. At least skedaddle. Everyone to the trees. The trees. Get away. Ogre. Everybody. All right, we're all good.
Doesn't have
Except
one.
for Hanske.
No. He's trapped. Not pretty low level, so if he does die, he'll at least hopefully be back alive for Alliance before the high ground push comes in, but doesn't look like they get caught out. Question is now, which lane and how do C9 go for the high ground? Are they going to push in multiple lanes and try and split Alliance up? Do they just try and 5-man brute force down a lane? Spirit Bear is proven to be very squishy, so he may wait till he has he's going to have a resummon fairly soon, 55 seconds, so perhaps that and the Skadi is what they're waiting for.
got the Scunny on the bear.
Oh, that's...
One way to tank it up, yeah, I guess. Alright,
yeah.
like, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah, that's...
Oh, they're waiting for level 22. He's so close to it.
Yeah, that actually makes total sense. And theoretically, you're like close to having 3 lives or something, but this creep wave will just about be his level 20.
Can't see experience.
Oh, when you hover over, yeah, that's true.
Come on, Valve. You know what they also need to do? Update the draft screen. My God, is that screen boring. I turned in to watch a game the other day in Dota TV, and it started off the draft screen. I instantly turned it off. I was like, Jesus.
Radiant's bottom tower
Well, I just want all
is under
the
attack.
bugs fixed with it as well, like with the arrow pointing the wrong way and
Radiant
stuff,
structures are
but
fortified.
I sent a bunch of feedback with like all the different bugs and stuff that need fixing, and they were like, yeah, we're working, it is being worked on. There is a new drafting UI coming soon, apparently.
Oh, the swap, Baby Knight. He's the target. Not quite the combination they really hoped for. He can get off the ultimate now. He turns around, sights the Vice up EGM. Now the Golems will have their way with him, or maybe not. Loda defends EGM's life, kills one of the Golems, almost gets one of the other ones. Now Jonas upon man almost catch Ace. What was that? He get a 4-stab right through him. EGM, nice silence in the back line. Frostbitten up, but Limp is still shooting. Has the assassinate, managed to finish off the CM, and now the Aegis falls from the Lone Druid. Well, they're going to go for it, though. They don't have the bear, but they do have a numbers advantage. 4 versus 2.
Under attack.
Limp.
Dire's structures are fortified.
This golem's just melted.
And Baby Nine has some long range of that Scythe of Ice. He's actually just going to try and TP away. That was weird. That's one form of initiation, I guess. Good kick forward. Noya trying to help out his buddy. Has to Joe, get your ass out of the way. Ace is trying to make his way through, trying to stay ahead of Lifestealer.
A golden thread.
Like, this is the point where, I mean, saying in the draft we talked about how neither team's going to have that, like, team fight utility items. This is where it hurts C9. Like, if anything, it feels like Earth Spirit or even CM not having, like, a Vlad's, not having a Crimson Guard. They have no, like, plus armor items or, like, a mech even to help them out. Like, those golems just melt. Any hero that gets caught out, like Warlock, just looks like paper there with his low armor. I mean, he's not low armor, but he's not high armor. He's only got 8 armor, no bonus armor. So if they have items like Crimson Guard, Vlad's, Greaves, those kind of pushes are a whole lot easier, but that's something they just don't really have the heroes all line up to go for. But I feel like some other teams, like if this was like Puppy or someone playing Earth Spirit, he'd have a Crimson Guard right now with a Solar Crest. And that Solar Crest would be getting put on the Lone Druid or the Spirit Bear. Crimson Guard would be getting popped to help go for those pushes, and I feel like that's something that C9 is just lacking.
Gonna do C9. Wait for the chaotic offering. I won't imagine they're gonna wait for another Roshan. So Lions better come up with a game. Last defense was okay, but a whole lot better as they start chewing through those 5X.
We'll reach a point where C9 slowed down as far as how much they do scale. Warlock is going to go for the refresher, so we'll see the double rocks come into play. But I mean, Sniper, amazing at killing those rocks. If he's sitting far enough back, he'll kill them very quickly. We saw how fast Loader can deal with them as well. So if he gets that refresher like at a later stage of the game, it won't necessarily be a big game winner, but C9 looking to close things out, find an easy pick on EGM. There, they can do in response, and they are grouped up around this mid lane.
Radiant's top
I
tower
wonder
is
if
under attack.
D9 are just gonna I will out here. Single high ground push.
Yeah.
If Alliance defends another one, and they have to wait out on Sean Aegis. Hey guys, we need that extra life. Alliance, they're actually going to get really big. Like, Limp has the Scotty already complete, and that it is very dangerous item to push into just because the retreat is so much harder.
And it's the fact that both Load and Limp have Bloodlust as well, giving them additional chase and additional damage output. And Skin caught out. Kick won't land, but they are, but they're not like the big kicks, you know? It's not Loader, it's not Jonas, it's never Limp. Limp is always very far back. And I feel like eventually it's one of those games where it's like, okay, Cloud9, they're not really getting enough. They're really starting to break high ground, but all it's going to take is one key hero pick off, like on Loda or on Limp, and that's like the game one right there potentially. Even if they have a buyback, if you can get on the high ground as they buy back, you've got the position, and you've taken away that high ground defender's advantage, and suddenly the game can just be won right there. So it does feel like we're just like one big pick away from C9 winning the game, but at the same time, if Alliance continue to play in position well, Limp, may find himself caught out here. There is a kick.
Oh no,
Ooh, guess is wrong.
You're setting it all up, guys. You're like, we're just one pick away, and that pick almost happened.
That was no buyback. That was game over right there. Like, okay, maybe Alliance don't GG out, but they lose. They would have probably lost 2 lanes of racks if that pick happens.
Dead. Going to have Loda picking up perhaps a Assault Cuirass before this high ground push ever comes in from Cloud. So,
yeah.
It's getting a little. I kind of have to wonder Baby Knight's choice of getting a sight device, which I feel has not been effective yet.
What's this item even do for a Warlock? You're not an initiating hero.
I don't know. It literally killed him because he ran in and sight devised up a sniper, and then buyback happened, and not the sight device. You know, it's like if he had refresher in that one team fight where he drops it on 2 and hits EGM, and he drops another round, like EGM is surely dead. They keep lifestealer a little bit controlled as well. Bear may die again here. Ace is actually going to be without a Spirit Bear for 2 minutes. Now the initiation comes in. Noya actually not hit by that one. Does manage to get a stun up onto Limp. Limp's caught in the corner. Swap back. EGM does save his buddy. Loda's now going to be sight device. There's the use of it. Ace is controlling him. Oh, freezing field. The right hand side almost brings down 2, but it's not good enough. Not going to last. Yonosavan desperately chasing onto Ace. They need to be able to get these backline heroes. Yonosavan, he will end up going down. Loda fights it out with the golems and finishes him off. Hesta Joe is here trying to clean up, and Ace is on his way as well. Alliance, they're not healthy enough to be able to fight this one anymore. They need to leave. Loda needs to get out. He needs to hardly toggle through all this, but it's not going to happen. Hesta Joe, he gets stunned up, but does manage to get off the ulti. He will survive. Limp is up to defend against this, but Loda does not have buyback for 70 seconds.
That's some ballsy play from Rise's CM. He just goes blinking in on top of the sniper with the frostbite into freezing field. It was after Limp got swapped out. Limp was in the perfect spot to just clean up, win that fight for Alliance. If not for Rise's play, he throws away his life there, but he gets sniper down really low, gets Ogre down low as well, and forces the sniper to use his Hurricane Pike defensively. That really salvages that fight for Cloud9. So very good aggressive play from him, even though he doesn't get the kills and he ends up just dying. Make sure that Cloud9 can come out on top, but again, it's not a big enough fight victory for C9 to actually get a lane of racks or anything, and still Alliance feel like they can press out and push forward. This is without Lifestealer. They want to make sure Roche isn't happening, and he hasn't respawned yet, so will play out into their favor. Well, unless they want to get Roche, but I don't think they realistically could have killed Roche in a timely enough fashion.
It's smoked down though, and C9 won't got an Arcane Rune too, so this means that Spirit Bear's gonna have a lot less cooldown. Oh, Hesta Joe just runs right into Alliance as a 5-man. That's a huge pickoff. That Ags upgrade on the time lapse is so critical for C9.
That's as Roche respawns, but it's very risky for Alliance to go for Roche, even with the pickoff, because they're right by that Radiant Shrine. A potential buyback can come in from Weave. I say that, he just buys out some items. He buys a Diffusal, so not sure that is the play to spend your buyback money while you're dead, but either way, it doesn't look like Alliance are going to go for Roche. As I said, it's very difficult for them to go for that. They don't know the Weaver's buyback status, and their lineup does not kill Roche in a fast enough, timely fashion.
It could also be that the C9 have made the call that if Alliance do go for Roshan, we don't contest, and that could be because of the Chaotic Offering still being on cooldown.
True. It's just about to come back up. I feel giving them this Roche is...
The Refresher plus Arcane Rune too.
If
If that timing was just a little bit closer, C9 surely would have contested.
Radiant's top tower
If
is
they were
under
like,
attack.
oh, Roshan's going on now, and we have Chaotic Offering with the Chaotic, with the Arcane Rune and a Refresher, like, oh, that's go time, baby.
Yeah, I think you're right that they just didn't... They made the call not to contest it because they didn't know Roche was so long away from... Like, that Alliance were taking so long to actually... Because if they committed 20 seconds earlier, then they wouldn't have even been close to that Chaotic Offering cooldown. But now, this game is suddenly
Radiant's
a
top
bit more
tower
open,
is
and
under attack.
the win potential for Alliance is definitely there with the Aegis on Limp. They've got the Cheese as well on Loader. They're hunting through this Radiant jungle looking for picks, and be careful if you're Cloud9.
That is Yoda just not see Rise. He's been like, they've been kind of tracing each other through this whole entire
Radiant's
jungle,
middle tower
and
is
Yoda
under
has
attack.
just not been at the right place at the right time to find his steal. Maybe they'll spot him now. Right,
Well-
Rise.
Warlock cannot afford to get caught out in these fights now. Has the refresher and does not have the buyback. This is the worst possible time for him to get initiated on. Does have the timer, so there's a lot of pressure on Hestejo to make sure if he does get jumped on, that time lapse off.
I like this attempted play by Alliance. Drop the ward and keep running, and then see if they have the opportunity to as Cloud9 go in the area. What happened there? One of the things that does seem to be lacking is that Ace is really not hitting that hard, considering how far up he's in net worth. He will have a very large damage upgrade coming in. He's got that damage up.
Looks like Alliance have very good info as to where Cloud9 are.
That's
A lot of wards around that top river area, and now they get an Arcane Rune, so 7-second cooldown on the Berserker's Call. They tempt them to try and find a kill or lead a fight. They're gonna ping out Ace here.
Savage Ward, they need a good one. They're not going to get it fast enough. That means Ace is going to be caught. Loda is going to gobble him up. The Assassinate helps give him the extra bit of damage needed. Now,
1,300 gold.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top
40
tower is
seconds
under
with that
Radiant's
minus 50
middle
seconds.
tower has
Hestejo
fallen.
is threatening the split push with a
Dire's
Desolator,
structures
so
are fortified.
good news is if you don't want to buy him back, you can potentially trade Rax if you're C9.
Dire's top tower
And they
is
can
under
delay
attack.
things using the Chaos Offering, although if you drop the rocks now, you'll just be feeding them away, but it will delay
Radiant's
things.
middle barracks are under
They are
attack.
going to have the TP back. They're going to see if they can save their melee
it
racks.
doesn't
The
stop
Chaos
it.
Offering does go down. They've actually got a melee racks, and they managed to save their own. Range racks goes down
wow.
as well.
Radiant's
Alliance actually lose out on that exchange. A huge pick turns into C9 getting a lane of rags, and
Yeah.
all Alliance get is a tier 2.
Yeah. Loda life steal infested the Jonas to get the TP out, and Baby Knight was just like a fraction of a bit too short with the rock to catch the Axe TP, but even so, it ends up fantastic for C9. Hestejo's even going to get out of there, having all these items on him. He's been able to transition out of the Axe Scepter into some right-click damage with both Deso and Diffusal Blade. I think Alliance just completely underestimated his split push potential, thinking, oh, this is an Axe Weaver, he's not going to be able to do all too much right-click damage, and suddenly it's Alliance down a lane of Rags, something Cloud9 had struggled to do for 40 minutes. They had Aegises, they had every single big items they could hope for, and it's like, man, we can't take a Rax. All that needed to happen was for Lone Druid to die, apparently.
Radiant's top tower is under
When
attack.
Alliance is winning, they still lose.
Radiant
To have them
structures
5-man
are
push
fortified.
out and take the tier 2 tower, they at least still have a better opportunity than they did for almost this whole entire game. Even if they didn't get that lane of racks, they are still getting
Radiant's
some map
top
control.
tower
They're
is
taking some of these outer
fallen.
towers. It gives them the opportunity.
Dire's
Another
middle
win,
tower
another
is
pick
under attack.
could lead to them catching a whole lot more. Now they try and get Ace. They try and get that pick immediately after the push in top lane. The TP's coming in, but they're just shy of being able to get Ace with the call. He gets a Force Staff out.
And it wasn't just Ace, it was Hestejo bottom. I mean, he may get caught out here, but he did a lot of good damage. He's going back into the tower, perhaps? Yeah, oh, doesn't get that right click off. We'll get it and pay for it with his life.
Okay, well, I mean, that's still 80 seconds down. Can Alliance force a buyback? It's hard. They've got the top lane
Yep.
pushed out, but they need to push both bottom and mid. Otherwise, C9's just going to split push them.
And that's their Aegis down. Like that distraction, like that split push mid and then the Weaver split pushing bottom is essentially trading, like Weaver's basically traded his life for an Aegis. Lit BKBs? That's a misclick from him. I was suddenly come down and I see this golden shiny sniper and it's his 10-second BKB down the drain. Unfortunate.
Tell me you do it. Tell me you do it, gods. If you're in this point as Alliance, you've got 6,800 gold on paper. Would you do it?
You know, I definitely do it, but I don't. I also don't play to win. Sometimes I play for the entertainment value. You know, even when you're playing ranked, every now and then you get 7k gold to snipe, and you're like, this could lose my team the game. Who cares?
Well, Limp is going to work towards that butterfly, still holding on to the buyback, of course. Alliance are going to try and take some aggressive pressure, put it onto C9. Now they've got bottom and mid controlled. Of course, top lane still pushing out the super creeps on the play.
Radiant's middle barracks
C9
are
need
under
this
attack.
Weaver to perhaps transition more into a core because Warlock is not a hero that's going to scale all amazingly well. His rocks just get weaker and weaker as the game goes on. He went back for a Blink, so now it's the Hex. The Blink Hex is at least makes the Hex a little bit better. It still feels like a pretty shitty item pickup. The Shiver's Guard is what I would have liked to see because I feel like that's a good defensive item for when he gets jumped. But it's always going to be useful. It's 15 armor, one of the best armor items in the game. And the active is just generally better than a Hex, but he'll go for that, it looks like, as his last item pickup. Any big talents coming up. Magic immunity for chaotic offering golems. That is not particularly useful. 15 chaotic offering golems armor, that is useful.
That is very useful. All that physical damage, Jonas some fun. So close, he's got the gem. Feel it. Cards his feel. Gonna back away, has to be caught in the spot. Gonna reset up the trap a little bit farther back. And jungle is still going to take this bait. He's got the Air Spirit behind him. He might be feeling okay with it. You know, just one creep wave. That's all. Just one creep wave. Go farm.
We'll get greedy first.
Yono Safon, start making your way down. Force step.
I mean, Jonas could start spamming the lane and try bait it himself, but be the best, safest play.
Well, heads to Joe.
Going for
Just get greedy. He's so close. Force that forward. Gets the blink dagger. Pops out. Now the kick, though. It lands on two, but it's still enough. With a raged up load of Lifestealer with an Abyssal Blade, they do manage to catch Hesta Joe, and they're so important because it now means Alliance once again can get some map control, and who knows, maybe they can push high ground, maybe they can catch Ace, a swap, oh no, Ace is dead! Ace is dead. This is surely going to be buybacks, and maybe Alliance, they've got a win condition finally. They force these buybacks.
Yeah.
I don't know if they keep going or not, but they force these buybacks, and then for the next 5 minutes, they have the opportunity to win the game.
And it's both split pushing heroes. The Weaver and the Lone Druid are the heroes that have been split pushing and causing them problems. So you're not worried about this top lane so much. Jonas is going to go back regardless. He's got boots of travel. They do need to be worried about buybacks without the boots of travel on cooldown for 10 seconds, but it seems Cloud9 with the low Lone Druid respawn, they just don't want to use it. They're like, well, we'll give them 2 full lanes to save our buybacks. They're going to drop rocks here. Loda.
Chaotic offering with a Scythe of Ice. Another chaotic offering. It's coming close.
Double hex.
Fatal Bond damage is bouncing all through the spears in the back line. Rice is now going to come forward. He does manage to get the Frostbite up onto Hanskin. That's going to be another potential kill. As he is going to be this chase down. That is going to be the buyback on Hesta, though. They managed to keep Lone Druid buyback intact, and they kept their melee,
the melee
racks.
yeah. That is such a small little thing that could be a big difference between this like bottom lane having to be pushed out or not. Did have to commit the double rocks here, so I feel like trying to push and force a Lifestealer buyback here isn't the easiest play to make. They'd much rather Roshan, and well, Cloud9, Rosh is a very short cooldown for them, so potential Weaver Aegis to make up for him not having buyback is there, but looks like first they want to try press forward. One of the nice things when you're pushing with Lone Druid, it's great because if you do die, that minus 50-second respawn means you're not being punished for dying. When you're defending, you get punished because 50 seconds is a lot when your enemy's already at your base.
I'm a little bit worried about Ace here. He's playing this very aggressively. Lip actually comes forward. Jonas Spot intercepts Hesta Joe. Hesta Joe doesn't have buyback. He doesn't get off the time lapse. Ace, he's fighting up against Limp, but he doesn't have a BKB. He's getting kited around. The stuns are there, and they've taken down the Lone Druid. 48 seconds down with buyback. Noya almost gets dropped as well. They'll TP out successfully, it looks like. But no buyback.
Wow.
70 seconds for the Weaver.
They could even check Rosh if they want. They have time to take Rosh and go for the high ground play if they're fast about it, but it seems like they want to make sure they get some damage done to the enemy high ground. They've still got a cheese, actually. Loda, with that in his backpack, this is looking very deadly. As the Lone Druid dying, like that's the okay death for them because of that respawn time. With the time to end the game, it's just not... they want to go for it.
There it is. Baby Knight stops the initiation from Jonas Font, but they're still chipping away at that tier 4 tower. They know they have a minute to work with, not just the Weaver, but also the double rocks out from the Warlock. It's not
no
there.
team fight.
He can only upheaval. They've only got the Lone Druid's damage to be able to work with at this point in time. Yotasapon pops that Blade Mail. Blade Mail's going to fade off in a little bit here. Another Scythe of Ice placed onto Loda. He doesn't have buyback room. Remember that, but Ace, he's also a little bit danger. GM goes for him, straight up stuns him. Noya gets torn apart by Loda. Tier 4, he's down. Throne is exposed. It's already at 3k HP. Buybacks are rolling out from Cloud9, but Yotasapon intercepts. They're just going straight for the throne. They've taken
Victory.
a full push for a game 3 against Cloud9. What a comeback from Alliance.
It's a classic Alliance game. What?
Ada nonton nggak?
Stopnya gimana?
Hah? Lihat di YouTube, kamu lihat nonton.
Enggak, stopnya.